ensayas rápido, no sabes con el pie. Lo ensayas rápido, no sabes con el pie.
Good morning. Welcome to Civil Discourse Now. I'm Mark Small.
And I'm Paul Ogden.
I'm Tammy Moon.
Tammy Moon is our guest today. Our topic is going to be bullying. It's a very important topic for a lot of people. It's much more daily and more real than a lot of the big topics in the news we read about. We're coming to you live, streaming live from the 1001. 1001 is a restaurant bar located in Broad Ripple, Indiana at 1001 Broad Ripple Avenue. Paul, going to tell the folks something about the show?
Sure. The show is Civil Discourse Now. It's a show where we attempt to talk civilly about local, state, national, and international politics, Mark.
Yeah, and issues of social nature. Our guest today is Tammy Moon. And Tammy, you are, what's your official title?
I'm the president and CEO.
Of Bully Prevention Alliance?
Correct.
And what is the goal of that? I mean, the goal is pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, the goal is pretty self-explanatory. Our organization works on all levels of the bullying issues that are going on with the schools, with the families, the children's, the educators in the community, on bullying and cyberbullying issues all across the board.
And that's a new one, because when I was a kid, we had problems with bullies in school. Cyberbullying, obviously, because of the development of computers, has bullying has entered a new dimension.
Now, what is cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying is it's non-physical, of course. You have issues with people that are doing things through social media, such as Facebook, blogs, LinkedIn. You also have it with your cell phones through texting and pictures and taking videos through the phones and distributing through the electronic communications. And usually it's done with attack in order to degrade someone else or to cause threat.
Could be spreading rumors about something.
Libel, yeah.
Well, and not just defining cyberbullying, but bullying. That's an act where somebody is trying to demean or degrade or physically attack somebody.
Right. And like in libel, when somebody is doing something like telling somebody the truth, on something, like you have an opinion on something and you're upset and you're angry, if you are stating a truth, stating a fact, that can't be necessarily counted as bullying as long as it's not attacking the person. I mean,
So if I say Mark Small is annoying and his views are outrageous, that's not bullying. That
it
would be
depends
truthful.
upon, right, it's truthful to you because it's your opinion.
That would be pretty much everyone's opinion. That's not the point, Mark.
Well,
I have no opinion on that.
but that's a good point, because someone let's use a public context. Let's say that somebody's in a political debate.
Right.
Someone can use bullying tactics, or we were talking before the show
Right.
started, in court, lawyers can use bullying tactics against other lawyers or
Right.
against witnesses.
Right.
And that is viewed as a tactic, a strategy for court.
Right, and what we get is kids, for example, students are going and somebody will walk up and take a picture of somebody in school, do face swaps and things of that nature, or
Face swaps?
face swaps. They actually cut the face out of the person and put it on, and then cut the person's face out of a pornographic picture, and they will incorporate that in and then fix it to where the lines are all, meshed, and then people think that somebody has put out a pornographic picture. That's one. We have students who will go and post a picture of themselves, and people will come up and they will downgrade them, saying, degrading the characteristic of them, using language that I'm not going to repeat in this setting. And it's just, that's one form of it. And another one is that we've often seen, in some cases, is, people will go and compare one person to another person. And
we used to have a website that did that. That was actually how Facebook started, or precursor to Facebook, was they compare what's up like or don't like, and then put up pictures of two people. Like a contest.
And if you really want to think about it, I mean, one thing too that there's a actual website out, and a lot of people have heard about it. It's called peoplewalmart.com, and people will go behind other people and take pictures of them.
Oh, I have seen some of those pictures.
Yeah, and technically, if you want to count, that's bullying. That's cyberbullying, and you don't have the name with it, but it's still there, and it doesn't go away. And another one is like when we're working on cases, and
you say we, who you talking about? Your organization?
Well, us, or my organization, or when I'm still in paralegal mode sometimes, but a law firm, when investigating a case, either from our standpoint as an organization or from a law firm standpoint of an investigation, we will often go and look at Facebook and some of the other social media aspects to see what is being stated, to see if that person that is on the other opposing party is slandering and, libeling the other person that we're looking at. That libel counts as bullying, especially if it attacks or demeans or ruins the character of the person.
And a lot of the young people out there particularly, but I think everybody lacks knowledge of how it is that in legal proceedings, social media can pop up as evidence.
Against
a couple of years from now, you might be involved in a lawsuit, and somebody pulls up some footage off of YouTube or Facebook or something and says, well, you didn't have an injured leg then. I mean, you were dancing, or if somebody applies for a job, that can come back to haunt them. But on this, attacking somebody personally, that's always out there.
That's always out there, and so is the other things too. And you know what? And the difference is too, as adults, while it's hard for even us as adults to kind of stand listening to people perhaps and hound, like you were talking earlier about politics, we were talking about the ads, the campaign ads and everything, we get tired of listening to that negativity, but when a kid is being attacked like that, it doesn't go away. I mean, for us, we have 20, 30 years, 40 years over our kids, and if it's stressful for us, it is 10 times worse for them.
Well, there's a case just occurred recently here in Indianapolis of a young man who was open about his being gay, and his mother had made over 10 complaints to the high school about his being bullied and being harassed by other students. School refused to do anything. She got her son a stun gun, and when he was other kids were throwing rocks and broken glass at him, and he pulled the stun gun out and shot it in the air to get them to stop. He was expelled, but nothing was done to the other kids. He couldn't identify them for some reason. That was one story I read in the press. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. But I do know then last Friday, so several days after his expulsion or shortly after, he was at Circle Center Mall downtown here in Indianapolis, and a 34-year-old male, a supposed adult, recognized him and started calling him homophobic names. and then punched the kid in the face, so that you have this bullying of kids. And it's not, I'm not saying that bullying is always aimed at gay people. Bullying is aimed at kids because they look different, they dress differently, they're different from the other kids around, and it just attracts the attention of people who, for some reason, have hostility that they want to express.
Right. And it doesn't just, it's not just kids to kids, like you had just pointed out. It's also adults towards children. But it also happens from adults to adults. Like, for example, if you know somebody that ends up getting upset, seriously upset, they are seeing somebody. The person they're seeing ends up cheating on them. That person gets really angry, wants revenge. That revenge, that anger can stir actions that can produce bullying. And it's not just towards the person that did this damage to them personally, but it can also happen towards their attitude towards the person that they really love and that they really care for, and
or other people,
and other people, other
collateral
people
damage.
That are collateral damage, that are just on the outside looking in and just finally have had enough and just stand up and say, okay, you know what, both of you need to take care of your problem before you end up hurting everybody else around you. And that's something that, when adults do that, they also don't realize that sometimes they project that onto children.
Well,
Were you saying they copy the behavior?
Yeah.
Well,
and then children copy, because children see that and then they're going, well, it goes back to a student that said to me a couple months ago that I work with at Northwest High School. She's like, how do we know when we have done something that is considered bullying when what we see every day is exactly that? You see it in your home.
Or you see it glorified on American Idol, where judges are on a panel and they ridicule and get higher ratings by doing that, and kids will copy that behavior, and other adults will copy that behavior.
And other adults copy that behavior, and sometimes it just takes, people get tired of it, and sometimes they will just stand up and say, okay, you know what, I've had enough, I've heard enough, you need to get yourself some help. And you want to be friends, fine, great, but you better get that help, because otherwise you're going to lose a lot of people.
And the effects of bullying aren't just that, like, I still remember being shoved into a locker a couple of times when I was in junior high. And junior high is a really hot time for bullying. Mm-hmm. That's a really high peak time, and that's also a peak time for young people to commit suicide because of bullying. And we're going to be making a call to a gentleman, Kirk Smalley, who is in Oklahoma. We'll be doing that in the next segment. And his son was victimized by a bully, and there were very tragic consequences for Kirk and for his son Tyler. And so we're going to do that in the next segment. We'll be back in just a minute.